hear the gears are kind of chattering a bit back there. It's got these drifters that at first I was kind of confused by, but ended up figuring them out, and they seem to work pretty well. It's the L2 brand with a Shimano tourney something, some kind of tourney, which I like. It seems to shift pretty good. Right now I'm getting a little bit of chatter. It's a 14 speed, so it's 2x7. Let's just say it's not a cassette. Which I don't know if it's a big deal on this bike. I think that what I got this bike for is going to be, you know, this everyday riding around the neighborhood, road. You could do some super mild off-roading, so it is a gravel bike, which I don't know too much about what the differences are between gravel and road besides tires. So this has a slightly more aggressive tire on it, but it's still pretty darn tame. Besides the occasional chunkiness in the derailleur, it's not bad. The only thing you got to get used to is this unique riding position where you're a little more hunched over, and then feeling for where the grips, or not the grips, but the brakes, where those are. And I'm already starting to feel like it's coming together and feeling a little bit more natural than it was the first 5 minutes. And I've been on drop bars before. And that was on the Ozone 3000, RS 3000, and that bike was just too big for me. Being 5'7", that was probably a large size frame, and it was just way too tall. I didn't feel safe on it, so I only rode it a handful of times. And this one, it's feeling a lot better. This is a medium. I think it measures like a 17-inch frame. I haven't done the official measuring yet. It feels good. Now, the one thing that I will say that I don't appreciate is the rigidness, right? So I'm used to riding on my mountain bikes over here, and I'm feeling every bit of the road, and it's rough. I've got these tires filled up to, I think, about 45 psi. I think the minimum psi recommendation is 40. And I think the maximum goes up to 60. So I figured I'd go somewhere kind of in the middle. And I definitely feel fast compared to riding the mountain bikes over here, where this is typically pretty sluggish. I feel like I'm going at a good speed. Currently, I'm doing 22 miles an hour, which for me, that's pretty quick. I'll start to fall off up here a little bit because this does turn into quite the climb. It's not super steep, but it's long. and the large cog in the front, and probably about second or third gear in the back. Third. And it still feels pretty easy doing 15 miles an hour. I think usually going up this, I'm probably doing about 7. And I think if I wasn't talking, I could probably do a little bit better. In the world of cycling, the more ridiculous you look, the cooler you are. So this is smooth, quiet, fast. As long as you're not dealing with the crappy roads and the bumps and the holes, it's a nice ride. The shifting is good. It's responsive. Like I said, it's a freewheel. Or, yeah. Whatever one the cassette isn't. It's that. I always get confused. But anyway, this is just kind of my first ride impressions. I'm already starting to kind of get used to it. It doesn't feel as awkward. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on riding. It's I guess I should kind of talk a little bit more about the bike. This is a Genesis Bohe, depending on your accent, and it's marketed as a gravel bike. It's the gravel series. 700C wheels, aluminum frame, 14 speed, 2x7, drop bar style, which actually feels just fine. They're real narrow, so the amount of response that you have with your turns is pretty jumpy. As I mentioned in my opener, I had been chasing this bike for about 6 months. I first saw it, I think I saw it on Walmart's website, and it was like $200. And I saw the components and the features, front and rear disc brakes, and all the things that you look for, and I really wanted it, and it was out of stock, and I found it in stock a couple times. Went to go look at it because I wanted to see it before I bought it, just to make sure it wasn't too big, and they didn't have it. A couple weeks later, I looked on the Walmart site. It was in stock at one of my local Walmarts, and I went, looked, wasn't there. Thought maybe it was in the boxes that they have sitting kind of in the garden center. Maybe it hadn't been assembled yet because I didn't see it on the rack. Still couldn't find it. Next day, the website still said they had it in stock. I tried ordering it. Order went through successfully. A couple hours later, I got an email from Walmart saying that my order's been canceled because the item's not in stock. So I didn't get it. This will be the part where it gets a little dicey because this is more of a busy road, and it's hard to stay on the asphalt part because the lanes are so narrow. But usually when I'm riding the mountain bikes, I just ride on the rough stuff because, you know, the suspension helps you. wind's blowing pretty hard against me. But I don't feel like I'm feeling it have too much of an impact. So I think the most comfortable riding position for me with these drop bars is right here on the hoods. I feel like I can kind of put my weight up there. And I think that riding in the flats here, I don't know. I definitely don't feel comfortable on the drops. It feels a little weird to me, and I don't know if it's these handlebars, because when I first got it, the way that the handlebars were adjusted was comical. They were pretty much all the way pointing down, so the brake levers were way down here. Kind of would have made it not very useful riding in the drop position. 6-inch wheel is all jacked up. You got the brake rotor there, or the caliper from the rock hopper that came stock. We'll eventually do the back, but it wasn't messed up, so we're just gonna leave it for now. Got these Rock Brothers pedals on here, the red ones that I took off of the rock hopper. I don't like these for mountain biking because they're not grippy enough. The pins aren't as sharp, and we're fine with them for road riding, and I think they look nice. They're nice and minimal. 2x7 in the back. It's a Shimano Tourney TZ. It works great. I had the Tourney on the rock hopper, and it's a great shifter, or derailleur rather. It's real nice, responsive. It's a little slappy, but I think that for our use here, riding on the road, it's not going to be a problem. The frame does have a little bit of scratches on it, which could have came from shipping. It could have been from me. I actually dropped the bike yesterday when I had it upside down. But other than that, I think it works. I like it. And it's lightweight. It weighs about 30 pounds. We can shave some of that weight with new hubs, different bottom bracket and crankset. I think that we could get this to about 25 pounds or so. Even replacing the fork might help us lose some weight. Stem and handlebars might be steel. The front end of the bike feels a little bit heavy. Seat post might be steel. I'll have to test all that out. Different seat will give us some weight savings. If we decided to go 1x, that would save some weight as well. But I was doing some reading, and 2x seems to be a pretty good option for range, speed, and all that stuff. So there's all these different calculations between gear ratios and all that stuff. Way too advanced for me, but it seems like this combination is probably the best that you're going to get for efficiency and pedaling and all that stuff. So more to come. We'll see where this goes, but so far I'm really liking it. The color's great. It's like a blue purple. It's a matte finish. The graphics, I don't think they're stickers. They're actually clear coated on there, or somehow they're on there pretty good. I don't think you can peel them off. But that's it for this one. I'm going to continue the ride. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.